Hi, my name is Tara Bush. I'm a health coach, and I'm going to talk to you tonight about emotional eating. And I'm going to explain my story a bit. As I said, my name is Tara Bush, and 14 years ago, I was 428 pounds. I had gastric bypass surgery, and I managed to keep 248 of those pounds off during those 14 years. And part of my journey was to become a health coach. I became a life coach first, and then recently I got qualified as a health coach. And now I'm taking a master class in emotional eating. My theory is if you're more than 100 pounds overweight, even 50 pounds overweight, you are using food more than for nutrition. And so, my first question I'm going to throw it out to you is, do you think that emotional eating is psychological, physiological, or both? And the science is showing us it's actually both. Um, Now, I'm not talking about eating disorders, I'm talking about disordered eating. And emotional eating comes in three different forms. It comes from comfort eating, bored eating, and restricted eating. And as a health coach, I can work with clients to overcome, to figure out where your patterns and help you to move beyond them. Now, you might be saying, well, what what do you mean by that? Okay. And what is a health coach exactly? A health coach is different than, say, a nutritionalist or a dietitian, a doctor, or a lawyer. You go to them for prescriptive advice, and they will give you a nutritional, more than likely will give you a sheet of items you can and cannot eat. A consultant is someone, an expert, again, that you go to for advice, and they will give you prescriptive advice. A therapist will help you to get beyond your something that has you stuck in your past, whereas if a coach works with you where you are right now on your future goals and holds you accountable. So we're not going to give you prescriptive advice. I'm going to be working with you to find out, well, what drives you to that 3 o'clock chocolate bar or cookies or potato chips or whatever your snack du jour is or whatever your trip ups are. Because each one of us are bio-individual, and that's the beauty of coaching. And that's really what I think helped me along the way. I worked with therapists who really helped me to understand my emotional eating and helped me to heal my past based issues that kept me stuck in those patterns. Um, so, what is emotional eating? All right. It is a strong desire for a specific food. All right. It often strikes quickly. So that is the difference between head hunger and real hunger. Head hunger, just bam. You can feel out of control or motivated for instant gratification. So have you ever been, you walk into a gas station too, or someplace that you normally go and you get that, oh yeah, I gotta have that cookie or whatever that savory meal was, you go there for that specific thing. It can lead you to feel anxiety or anger if you can't satisfy them. So if you get stuck in a situation and you can't get to it, then you get angry or anxious about not fulfilling that need. And this is emotional eating. So as a health coach, I want you to think about what drives you to it. Notice the next time, become very curious rather than getting angry. Ask yourself, what am I feeling? And go look at on Dr. Google and ask for an emotional wheel. And that might help you to get in touch with your emotions so you can feel what that is. Know what the physiological causes could be. So before you get reach for that cookie or that chocolate chip or a cookie again, or that potato chip or whatever it is, candy bar, I want you to take a glass of water. So stop. All right. And this may help you. So it's helpful. Again, we talked about the physiological root causes of what some of the potential things of emotional eating could be driving you there, or what are some of the issues, physical issues, that could make you think that you're hungry. So again, dehydration. And if you eat, I remember when I was 428 pounds, believe it or not, I was actually malnutrition because I ate food that was not healthy for me. In fact, I was drinking something like 64 ounces of Pepsi a day. That's a horrendous amount of sugar. So now I crowd that stuff out. And instead of having, I'm not saying I never have a soda. Once in a blue moon, if we go to the movies, I might have a diet, a sip of my partner's Diet Coke. It's very, very, very occasional. It's a blue moon thing. But so be careful. That's what I'm trying to get across to you, that when you are eating a chocolate bar, cookie, or potato chips, or fast food, very seldom you are denying your body of good nutrients. So instead of having something like that, maybe you could think your first step might be you could start maybe at a Kind bar or a piece of fruit. I was reading somewhere that today that even if you consider, you look at your juices are just as high in sugar as your Pepsis. Yes, they might contain a little bit more vitamins than a soda, but really and truly the sugar content is the same. That means the calories are the same, and your body doesn't know the difference between a soda calorie and a fruit juice calorie. And if you are constantly taxing your body to that extent, then you are really putting your pancreas under a lot of strain. So if it brings up extreme hunger too, once we're in this cycle of sugar, we are constantly it's like a roller coaster. We're on in 30, you eat your sugar, and in 30 minutes you're like, wow, I'm super hungry again. And then you eat again, you crash, and then you eat again, you crash, and then you eat again. And this can only go on for so long. It often means that there's a imbalance. I like to call it, because I go to yoga a lot, I like to call it a yin and yang imbalance. So it means that our feminine and our masculine energies are out of whack. So what can you do to bring you into balance? Well, you start by adding a little bit of everything to your plate. All right, that means more fruits and more vegetables in your on your plate, and maybe taking down the carbs. a true serving of rice, and if you can stick to this, you will see immediate changes, is a third of a cup. I'm not saying cut it out. If you can, then hallelujah. Go to quinoa, go to brown rice. There is even something called a royal blend that you can start with. It's a little greeny, but it can help. So a third of a cup of rice. Go have your green vegetables, broccoli, kale, spinach, even throw a little green pepper in there. I love Brussels sprouts, cabbage. And it doesn't have to be salads. In fact, I would encourage you that you eat seasonally as opposed to maybe saying what some people think that you should be eating for I'm trying to make sense here so that I can so that you can understand. During the winter, you ever notice that you really are not satisfied when you eat a salad, because your body immediately instinctively knows it wants heartier food. And this is something that we often miss with when we go on a diet per se, is that culturally, Cayman, we're used to a higher starch diet. So what you could do is instead of having all your starches, you could have that slice of breadfruit, but it would be a slice of breadfruit, and that would negate your rice. And then you could have your greens, your okra, your Brussels sprouts, your cabbage, your steamed cabbage, something like that on your plate. And if you're a man or a woman, whatever protein you eat. Now, this is very general information, so I want to make sure that you understand this, that at the moment I work with clients according to their bio-individual needs. Some of us don't eat meat. Some of us eat beans and are vegetarians or vegans. All right. For me, I'm a fat storer. It's just the way my body been made up. So I do better on a low carb, and I said low carb. It's not no carbs. It's a low carb, a little bit of high protein or a higher protein, and a mixture of fats. So I do that by having my protein. I can have it from beans, or I can have it from meat. And when I say meat, I'm talking about fish, all of the meat groups, including red meat. And I have occasional red meat. So it's working with you on what your needs are. And again, it comes back to your food history and what you're used to and where we can get you from and to. When I first started on this journey, I ate like most normal, I would say Caymanians do. I would have the chicken or baked chicken or roast beef for on a Sunday, macaroni and cheese, beans, and what else? Potato salad. Now, potato salad was my favorite food, or my comfort food at that time. And I remember my doctor saying, but you can have 2 tablespoons of that and that'll be enough. And I said, no, I need more. But truth be known is I'm now switched that, and my comfort foods are more in the range of, I do enjoy salads. I'll be honest with you, that's my comfort food. I know I can barely stand broccoli. I will be honest with you. For 8 years, I ate that nonstop. So it's kind of hard for me to eat it now at the moment. But when I eat it, I enjoy it. I enjoy steaming my vegetables. and roasting them, and that's something that you can do if you have that sugar craving. You could you could roast your vegetables and bring out the natural sugar in them, because most vegetables, believe it or not, do have sugar in them. And that's the beauty of coming off of sugar, is that we get to taste our foods. So, I mean, our taste buds become free of all the crap, and we really get our taste buds back. And I'm just so excited about that. I remember when I first had my surgery, just how sweet food, some food was. I still get, how you say, I get thrown off by sweet foods a lot. And hormones too. Emotional eating can be driven, especially if you are a man or a woman going through menopause, or I forget the male version of that. But hormones do drive you to eat, and it does drive you to put on weight. So it's about bringing things in sync. And again, it goes back to that vicious cycle of, if you continuously tax your pancreas by eating a lot of sugar, then you are putting yourself, well, first of all, you're bringing yourself to insulin resistance and diabetes, and you're also becoming, telling your body to store fat. Now, getting to some of the meat of this, human beings are hardwired to like sugar, and it is a comfort food. We are very, very, very much still cave people, and our bodies aren't meant to be going at the speed that it is going at our minds, and we are no longer hunter-gatherers. Our food is in great abundance. So many, many years ago, thousands of and hundreds of thousands of years ago, however long human beings have been on this planet, when we came in contact with something sweet, we knew it was okay to eat. All right. Bitter things meant it was poison. Sweet things meant it was okay to eat. The other thing is, when we're young, the first taste of food was more than likely our mother's breast milk. This meant we associated sweet with comfort immediately, because we were at her breast, and we could hear her heartbeat, and automatically we were connected to her. Also, we, unfortunately, when we are younger kids too, parents self-soothe their kids when, here, have a snack with, you're upset, here's a piece of cake or ice cream, or here's a piece of cake and ice cream for celebration. So in many respects, we are socialized around food and around sweets. So, like, how do we reprogram and repattern our brains? And that's something that we really, really have to think about. So things to look about, that trigger our emotions. Sorry, I'm trying to see the time and how much time I have left. What triggers us to keep going back to that 3 o'clock or 9 p.m. sugar drive? I mean, some of us can go all day and be okay, and then at 9 o'clock or 3 o'clock, we blow it up. So what can we do? What patterns are we seeing? So what stresses are we under? What can you do? What are our food deficiencies? Are you getting enough vegetables and fruit in our diet? In fact, I would say for the next week, I would challenge you to Look at, if you're having packaged food, have it no more than 5 ingredients and no more than 10 grams of sugar. That's my challenge for you all for the week. Is it boredom that you're eating? And if you are bored, then okay, write I am bored and go for a walk. Call a friend. Call someone that you haven't been in contact with for a while. And that feel goodness of connecting with them will more than likely give you the emotional high that you will need to get by that craving. What are your limiting beliefs? So write these things down. I will say them again. What are your limiting beliefs that keeps you there? Do you feel that you're not good enough, that you don't deserve a good life, or life is hard? What's keeping you driven there? If it's shame, then tell someone what you're ashamed of. Once you let the air out of that balloon, trust me, you're well on your way. What cultural influences or social situations or locations are driving your cravings? Again, I go back to, if you go to a particular restaurant, do you notice that it keeps you, that's what you want to eat? Well, change it up. Take a couple of take a different route to work. Learn to be uncomfortable in your uncomfortableness, because I bet that you're already uncomfortable. So learn to be a little bit more uncomfortable. And once you can do that, you can start to get a handle on missing that $5 latte or that patty or whatever it is that keeps you there. Are you using food as a reward? Well, change it up, okay? This is the one, the restrictors. These are the people that control their food like it's they have a lot of rules around food. And I know this because in fact, I'm just coming out of this part of my things. I had a lot of rules around food, and I realized just how much it was holding my life back. And it really, the more rules I put on myself, the worse, the more weight I gained. And, it was when I was talking to my coach, and she said, Tara, have you noticed this? And I said, yes. And there were a couple of things I did. I was extremely stressed out because, like I said, the more rigid I became, the more weight I was putting on. And it was because I was so highly stressed at of my situation. And then I went to yin yoga, I meditated, and that helped to bring down my cortisol levels. And my eating never changed, even though I got really restricted. What I ate didn't change, I should say. So I knew within about 6 weeks, I could see a difference in my weight start to shift. So let the air out of your balloons. Don't become so tight with anything. I hope that makes sense. So 8 potential root causes of emotional cravings are emotional stress, your primary food deficiencies, okay, you're lacking something, you're bored, you're self-sabotaging because you feel you have some reason that you feel you don't deserve to get the life you want. You are in social situations that keep you locked in, are the locations, the cultural influences. You use food as a reward, and you're super uber rigid. All right. So I will, as a health coach, I will listen to you and help you to listen to your body. Okay. Explore the why with curious. And I can guarantee you I won't judge you because I've walked in your shoes, and trust me, Them shoes, they're hard to walk in, all right? Look at the big picture, all right? This is not going to happen overnight. There's no pill that you're going to take. I mean, you can go to the doctor and you can go and get a gastric bypass surgery, um, as I did, and there's no shame in that. And there's no shame in getting a diet pill either, but the chances are you're going to go right back to the problem unless you deal to the why that you're in this, you're using food as a coping mechanism. So working with me, I will empower you to connect with your emotions and your eating habits and truly understand the why and what is driving you. And we will work on finding the healthiest options, okay, whether that's culturally or not. And it takes time, it does take time to switch your comfort foods, but well worth it in the end. So we'll find ways to drive what are you getting from the situation of emotional eating, because there's something that some reason that you're doing, there is something there. Will help you to find a middle ground. And what I've noticed about my patterns is because I really I need to, I like water, but I'm not getting to it enough. So I'm trying to my perspective has changed, so finding happiness in anything I do. And have you ever noticed that if you go, oh my God, it's going to be a rough day, it's going to be a rough day. So look at the perspective, try to change your perspective. Everything, there's a blessing. And even with this coronavirus, I mean, please, I hope you forgive me, but with the washing of the hands, and they're telling you to sing happy birthday because it's about 20 seconds. So I'm singing happy birthday to myself all day today. And I had to, I was actually laughing. And if you laugh and you can smile at something, that lightens your soul. So find the gift in any situation that there is, because there is something. I mean, no matter what we're going through, if you can find the gift in it and understand it, maybe you can't at that particular moment when you're going through it, you get angry. That's okay, but find out what is driving you there and what's the gift in it. What is, tune into your body and listen to it. We are so out of tune with our bodies. I'm telling you, it's amazing to me how much we don't listen to ourselves anymore, because it's far more important to be on Facebook and far more important to be on Instagram and getting that like and seeing who liked my page, as opposed to paying attention to what's going on inside. All right. I challenge you to take a deep breath today. Let it out with your mouth. Take another couple of deep breaths like that, and then focus on inhaling and exhaling through your nose. And see if you can let out more than you take in. Exhale longer than inhaling. By the count of 2. Just learn how to do that. That's a learned skill. And you can bring your parasympathetic nervous system under control. Our sympathetic nervous systems are really running the show right now, which if you're caught in a traffic situation, you might not realize this, but you are thinking, you're gearing your body up for a fight and flight situation because you're so stressed out. And this is why we are so aggravated and our hormones are so out of whack. Now, I can't talk about this much longer because my time is nearly up, but with the breathing, and if we can do, maybe start with a minute, if you can start with 5, and it's not about emptying your mind, it's about acknowledging what's there and coming back to your breath. And coming back to your breath. Okay, yeah, no, lunch is not that important right now. Coming back to your breath and giving yourself some space off your phone, off your devices, off of everything, away from your family. Listen to some good music every now and then and dance with your dogs. That's what I do for my joy. Or go outside in my garden. Touch is really important as well for self-soothing. So bye for now. I hope this has been helpful. It's gone a lot quicker than I thought. And my name is Tara Bush. I'm a life coach, and I'm moving you to the life you want. If you want to know more about emotional eating, please give me a call, 345-925-3030. WhatsApp me is preferable, or you can look on my Facebook page, Tara Bush, or For the Health of It on my Facebook page. Bye for now. Thank you, Cayman. And I am so grateful that you spent a half an hour of your morning with me, moving you to the life you want. Bye for now.